Okay, hopefully that's working. Hey guys, welcome to the channel. We're going to be doing a live stream today here on Riverbend Springs on our farming the map playthrough, I guess you could call it. As yesterday we just harvested the entire map as part of a video series I'm doing. You can see everything has been harvested. Every single field had wheat on it, which means that now we've got a crap ton of straw to harvest, so we're going to be doing that. And I have absolutely no idea how long this is going to take. Harvest took literally 13 hours, so yeah, there's no telling how long this one's going to take. Harvest was done with 3 different teams of harvesters, which is, a fair bit. But I'm only doing one baler because you can't have balers running on workers. So it's going to be me, this John Deere 4755, and our K-brand baler against the world. It's 2:35 in the afternoon. In real life, though, it's 1:11. So let's fire this thing up and get going. Let's make sure we're doing the 240 centimeter bales. Yep. And we're off. We have some music we can play, so that'll be nice. Never had that before for a stream. Gonna have to go back for the tiny little bits, but for the most part it shouldn't be all that important. If there's just one speck here and there, I'm gonna leave it, but if it's a large swath like that, I'll go back for it. I want you all to put a prediction down in the comments or in the chat of how many bales you think we're going to get from the entire map. And I'll shout the winner out or the closest person out in the next video. Actually, it'll be for this video, so this is part of a video series I've done. The first, I was wondering, how much money would it take to harvest the entire map? Not harvest, but farm the entire map. How long would it take? How many hours? How many days in real life would I be working on this? How much money would it cost? If you're renting all your equipment, how much is it going to cost to, farm the entire map? I also wondered how much money you would make. Is it worth farming the entire map for the amount of time you're going to put in, the amount of money you're going to spend? Is it going to pay off? And so with those questions, I started the series, little mini series. It's only 3 videos, but the goal is to finish harvesting the map all with one crop. It's all wheat. So episode 1 was cultivation. That went pretty well. Did extremely well on the channel, actually. I think it's a top 5 of all-time videos, so thank you guys for that support. Episode 2 was obviously planting wheat everywhere, and that went pretty well. Also, another maybe top 10 video on the channel. And then this is episode 3, of course, which is going to be the final one, where I harvest everything. Actually, I started out by fertilizing. So I fertilized all the fields to get them to their highest yield possible. Then I harvested everything. Then I will bale all the straw, which we're doing now, of course. And lastly, we're doing all the results. Sorry, we got to sell the bales, sell the wheat. We do have, let's see if I've got it right here. Yeah, 2.2 million liters of wheat, which is an astronomical amount. That's a lot of wheat. I'm not sure how many bushels that would be, but it's a lot. So we got to sell all of that at the right time, which is going to be around that December-January time. And then I've been keeping meticulous record of the finances, how much money we've been spending, how much time I've been spending, and then obviously we can get our answer once and for all. So this video, I've already put in about 15 hours into it. So, add the time we spend here live streaming today, it could be a super long video, 20 hours plus into this. So hope you guys are in it for the long haul, just like I am. And again, leave your predictions down below. We are already at 4 bales, which obviously isn't a lot, but this is... Oh, sorry. I should probably explain which fields we're on. So we're starting on field 1, or field 2, which is the lowest number, and I'm going to work my way up. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. There are 91 fields. I think there's 91, so... Yeah, it's going to take a while. I sincerely doubt I'm getting done in the live stream today. So, yeah. It'll be probably a few more days before this episode comes out, and I honestly don't know if I'm going to be able to wrap it up in the next couple of days, so I might have to do a different video and then come back to this one later on and finish it up. Feel free to let me know about audio levels, if it's too loud, too quiet for my microphone, game volume, or the music I've got running. I have never, again, run all 3 of those things at once, so it's understandable there's going to be some issues. Welcome in, everyone. How's everybody doing? We are baling the entire map today, starting on field 2 and going all the way up to field 91 down here. It's all had wheat and it's all got straw on it right now. Y'all got that chat box down there. Don't leave me hanging here. This will only be as exciting as you guys make it, so. Oh man, there goes a bale. Got any questions or comments or anything, just leave them down below. Whether you're here while it's live or later, this will be updated or uploaded as a VOD onto the channel, so you can catch it later if you missed it. And I don't really stream very often at all, so don't really have a schedule or anything, but if you want to catch me next time I'm live, just subscribe and you'll get that notification. Alright, I gotta send the stream link to a couple of my friends. I'm gonna do that real quick. How's everybody's Saturday going? I'll be honest, mine could have been better, but all things considered, still not bad. Jean-Pierre, I don't speak very good Spanish, so not sure if I can translate that or anything. Just about done with the first field. It hasn't been that long, honestly, so maybe this won't take as long as I thought. If y'all are curious as to how we got to this point, of course you can check out the video series on YouTube. Just click on my picture under the video description and that'll take you to my channel. It's only been 2 episodes and I've put in a lot of hours. Let's see the statistics if we can. Time played on the right side, 25 hours on the map so far. And as I said, this is the 3rd episode, so really putting in the overtime here. Jason says, great day for some farming. Hey, every day is a great day for some farming. It's good to see you. Welcome in. Just got to get these last couple of tidbits and we'll be done with the first field. First of 90 fields on the day. Again, I don't know if I'm getting those all done today, so may have to leave you guys hanging. May notice things look a little bit more fuzzy than normal. I've got my settings turned down for the live stream because I'm not sure my computer can handle it. It can barely run 60 frames when I'm recording. I imagine live streaming is a little harder for it to run, so. It doesn't look too bad, honestly, for medium graphics settings, but I think fully maxed out, this game looks beautiful. Alright, there is officially the first field done, and now we're going to move on to field number 3. This was number 2, but it's the first field. So even though there's 91 farmlands, there's not actually 91 fields. I think there's something like 87 or 86. You can see, you know, farmland 1 is just a farm there. There's also 92 is open. 80 is open. These couple down here are open, so probably around 85 fields. Welcome in, everyone. How's your Saturday going? Oh, I should have had a stopwatch going. My bad. We'll be able to tell how long it's going to take by the hours down on the bottom right for the tractor. That'll be a good indicator. 0.2 hours right now. Also, I did keep track of the time in-game up at the top. I think it was about 2:25 when we started, 2:30, so I will be able to get a time narrowed down later on. To my knowledge, no one has done this yet in Farming Simulator 25, so y'all are witnessing history. At least no one's recorded it. So if you've ever wondered how long it would take to farm the entire map, or how much money it would cost, or how much money could you make off of every field in the map, this is the place for you. I've already got a couple videos out, and this is part of the last one. Jason says aura. Everything about farming has aura. Just gotta dig deep and find it. How's the audio levels, everyone? Never run music or anything like that while streaming, so I'm guessing they're not perfect, but feel free to let me know. This was my favorite tractor in Farming Simulator 22. I'm not sure exactly why. doesn't have a ton of power. Its turning radius sucks, so you can't really turn around very easily. But I thought I would bring it back for the first live stream on Farming Simulator 25. I didn't even realize that. Dang. Of course, it's not in the base game on 25, it's a mod, but it is done by Giant Software, so it's effectively the same as base game. It is technically a little bit underpowered for this baler. I think the baler wants 195 horsepower and the tractor only has 190, but it should be fine. Yeah, if you put the narrow duals on the back for this tractor, it looks absolutely beautiful. And it's plenty for the seeder that I use. Let's see if it's in here. I think it's also a mod. Where's the seeders? Yeah, this one. That needs 180 horsepower. This has 190, so that's kind of my perfect setup. One of these older, smaller tractors with rear duals, and that seeder is perfect. Smoking Coin says, audio sounds good for me on iPhone SE. Sweet, man. Thank you. I appreciate the feedback. As far as my favorite baler, I guess, since I was talking about favorite equipment, it's definitely the Vermeer round baler. I don't even know if it's in this game. I haven't done any baling in FS25 yet. But this tractor is perfect for that as well. I think it only required like 90 horsepower or something, which is not much, obviously, and you can make some pretty big bales with those round balers, so... It's interesting because I really love the big giant equipment, but I feel like I have more fun in the small stuff like this. Welcome in, everyone. We're baling. That's what the title and thumbnail says, so I guess it's not that big of a surprise. Already finished one field, and we're so close to being done with the second. As I said earlier, leave a prediction down below in either the comments or the chat on how many bales you think we'll get off of the entire map. Because we're baling everything. Hopefully today, but probably going to take more than one day to do it. And whoever's closest, I will shout you out in future video, whenever this one comes out. I'm a little bit scared of the performance of my computer. It handles the map decently. It can run on even very high graphics, around 45 frames per second. I'm only on medium right now. But pallets and bales seem to cause lag. And I'm going to have potentially hundreds of bales, so we'll see how it does. Hopefully it's not too bad. Again, I preemptively lowered the graphics in preparation. Alright, that's field number 2 done pretty well. Just gonna be cranking them out one after the other today. I guess I'll chat my prediction for the bales. Let's see how many we're at right now. 22 bales, and we've only done 2 fields. I'm gonna say 250. 250 bales is my official guess. It'd be funny if I got to shout myself out. I hope there's no limits on bales. I know there is on consoles, at least on Farming Simulator 17. I think it was 250 bales was all you could have, so I found that out the hard way. I was farming on Lone Oak Farm, my favorite map of all time, and doing some pretty big silage operation, making tons of silage bales. And I ran out of storage for bales, so I had to stop. Smoking Coin says 520. That's a lot of bales. We'll see. Jason says 173.2 bales. I don't know, man. I think you might be undercutting it. We've done almost 3 fields and we're already at 23 bales. We're going to be doing about 85 fields. I think mine might be way too low. But again, no one's ever done this, so no guess is a bad guess. We have no context to base it off of. I don't know how farmers would do this in real life if they're like baling some straw and they have to come back for a second pass because they missed a bit. If there's already a bale in the way, would they have some bumpers on the front of the tractor to push it out of the way or something? I don't know, man. Thankfully, this is just a game and I can't lose money from hitting bales. I would like to see some sort of damage-based maintenance in the game, though. I was kind of hoping we would get that for this game. You know, you can ram into a tree fully loaded with a semi. I've done that a few times in-game, and there's no consequences except you have to, like, you know, try and back up or reset the semi to the shop. That would total a semi in real life, and this is supposed to be a simulator, so I don't know. I feel like it could benefit for some realism, or at least just some mods that make it more realistic. We're still in that early stage of the game where there's not much out yet. Excuse me. Hope y'all don't mind some country music. That's going to be the vibe I'm rolling with today. Kind of seems fitting. I do listen to bluegrass when I've farmed in real life, and I don't know, it's not really like a ritual or anything, but it just seems right to listen to bluegrass while I'm farming. It's kind of the only time I listen to country or bluegrass. Missed a couple scraps on that field, but that is the 3rd field done, and we're almost done with number 4 as well. This is the starting farm you usually start out on, so these fields are kind of the smaller ones on the map. We'll get into some pretty big ones. See the size of these compared to what they will be. Some pretty good sized fields down here. Whoops, I missed some. Now, when I started doing this series on farming the entire map, I originally planned to like do every single map in the game. I think there's 3. Is that right? Yeah. There's Hutan Pentai. This is the American one, Riverbend Springs. There's also a Polish one called Zielonka. And then modded maps started coming out, like Calmsden Farm, and there's another one, I can't remember what it is, New Frontiers. So I was gonna do all the maps that I could, or the cool modded maps. But this has taken so darn long, I don't think I'm gonna do it again. Unless there's like a really big request for it or something. $10 for one YouTube video may not seem like a ton, but if you work a full-time job, or, you know, you're just busy, then 10 hours, that's more than like a week of spare time, potentially, so I always try to do more than one video a week. Try to aim for 3 to 4 hours, I think, is a good video. Sometimes I spend more, like, I think the most I've done was when I was checking which crop makes the most money, and that was like 18 to 20 hours for one video. But those videos, it does pay off. They did super well at like over 10,000 views, which is awesome. Did you swath all the wheat? No, thankfully. I thought about it, I'll be honest. I did think about swathing everything and then harvesting and then baling, but no, that would take forever. I mean, this is already taking a super long time, but yeah. All right, on to field number 6. Make sure I know how to get there. For those of you unaware, swathing is a special type of harvest you can do where you cut all the crop down and lay it down in lines like this. Here, I'll show you in the store. Actually, I don't know if I have the swathing DLC. Oh, I don't. Never mind. You cut the crop down and lay it in a row like this. This is just the straw. When you swath it, it's got the straw and the kernels of grain in it. And then you come through with a pickup header and separate them out between straw and grain. And that gives you a little bit of a, I think it's a 25% boost in yield. But it essentially doubles your harvest time. So I decided not to do that. I didn't think it would be, but baling is kind of frustrating in this game because the swaths are like too wide. Like, it's really hard to get everything there. I left a speck there. I'm gonna leave some specks on this turn probably. Oh no, I'm amazing. I got them all. Just feels like the swaths are wider than they were in the last game, so you almost got to be like eagle eye view or bird's eye view to not miss any straw. Because if you're like this, or even in cab like I like to be, you're probably going to be missing some. Yeah, see? You're missing specks all over the place. Oops, I missed a spot harvesting. That's probably not the only time that's going to happen. It's about half an hour in. We've got 0.5 hours on the tractor. We've done a few fields, which is nice. I'm still feeling good. We'll see how that is in another few hours, but yeah. I really don't expect to finish this all today. That is annoying. I hate leaving specs behind. I want it to be perfect. I'm sure you guys watching do too. It's just so hard to get it right. I might have to install or make my own mod that makes the pickups on these balers just a little wider so it picks up all the straw, because that's really annoying. This speed I'm at is breakneck speed for the tractor and baler in real life, but this is a farming simulator in case you didn't notice, so 10 miles an hour is a-okay. Even driving a tractor on farmland at 10 miles an hour, just driving it without doing anything, with the trailer on the back completely empty, you're bouncing like mad. Your head is almost hitting the ceiling. You're flying up and down. I could not imagine running an implement behind you. Again, it has a pickup on the ground. That thing is dragging on the floor. 10 miles an hour would be crazy. It looks slow from the outside, but it feels so much faster inside a tractor. Same as like a tractor driving down the road. They feel so slow when you're in a car, but when you're driving a tractor on a 2-lane country highway at 20 miles an hour, it's nerve-wracking. Those things are not meant to go that fast. The steering is really loose, so you gotta like, it's always bumping all over the place. I have not driven that alert, and probably since that day I drove on the highway tractor. Didn't help that it had duals on it, so it kind of took up a lot more than a lane, but yeah, that doesn't really seem that scary from the outside, but maybe it was just because it was my first time and I've only driven the tractor at 10 miles an hour maximum on the field, but that was crazy. Currently baling field number 6 of 91. We've made 40 bales already. I don't even know how much money we're gonna make from this, but it's kind of scary. Smoking Coin says I own around 60% of the field so far, close to half of them seeded in grass. Wow. Are you doing silage on them, I assume? How many hours have you played to get to do that? I've put about 20 hours in on my playthrough and I only own like 4 or 5 fields. It might be 5 or 6 actually. I am on hard difficulty though, I guess. The straight up and down rows are nice because I can be in the cab. I tell you, those curves are difficult. Smoking Coin says using the farm on the east side as a hay farm since it already had the hay silo on it. Is that on this map you're talking about? Let's see if I can see what you're talking about. Oh, this farm maybe? The sunflower farm? Don't text and drive, kids. Don't look at a map while you're bailing either. Tell you what. Fields across from the BGA are for my BGA bunker silage. Okay, I got you. How many hours have you put into the map? What do y'all think about my baling setup? John Deere 4755 with a K-brand square baler. Not too shabby. We're going to have to get a bale transporter at some point as well, but there's only one option. Smoking Coins running rice on an American map. I guess this is kind of southern area around Mississippi, so it's not too crazy. 200 hours in at that point. Wow, that's awesome. I think I've only played 160 hours total in all of my playthroughs, so you're beating me for sure. Congratulations to you. Yeah, I kind of cheated, if you will. I just put $999 million in my bank account so I could buy everything I needed. But if you actually took the time to own the entire field, the entire map, like starting from essentially nothing would, yeah, take hundreds of hours, I'm sure. I do not have the commitment to do that. At least not yet. I think a few other people have done that on FS22 though. I don't remember his name, but I did watch somebody's series on the Shire map, Shire Farms map. It's called the Own the Map Challenge for FS22. That was pretty interesting. In my opinion, his what's the word for it? His progress was a little slow. I think it was. I looked ahead and I was on like episode 25, and by episode 41, he was still using the same seeder that he had in episode 1. And so I was like, it's kind of hard to watch if it, progresses that slowly. That's just me, I'm sure. I mean, he had a lot more viewers than I get, so I'm sure a lot of people do enjoy watching that. But it wasn't really my style. After these 3 fields, we're going to hit 8. I am kind of going out of order. I'm doing 6, 7, and 9 together then going over to 8, so I hope you guys will forgive me. I'm sorry. But I make the rules here, so that's how it's going to work. Yeah. Look at all them pretty bales, though. Oh no, I'm going airborne. I kind of mentioned this in the video, but I guess I'll say it here. The reason I'm doing square bales, I prefer doing round bales, even though they take longer to bale. I'm not sure exactly what my reasoning is on that. I find it more entertaining. But from this perspective, it is entirely about speed. It could take up to 10 hours to bale all the fields on the map. So I don't want to do round baling, because with round baling, you have to stop every single time the baler fills up and then manually unload it. With square bales, you can just go on the fly. So it's just pumping them out. As you can see, and they're falling behind me. We've already made 53 bales. I would have had to stop 53 times, unload the baler, close the baler, and then keep going if I was round baling. Now, it does take longer to bale, but you make some of that time back up when you transport it, because your bale transport for round bales can hold 24 bales. This big old thing. But when you do... Sorry, I'm distracted. When you do square bales, it can only hold 14. So you're taking almost twice as many trips to pick up all the bales, which saves you a little bit of time. But I just feel like for me, I needed to do the square baling. I feel like in the long run, it's gonna save me more time. This baler isn't even my favorite square baler, but it's the one that requires the least amount of power, so that's why I'm using it. I think my favorite square baler is the Crony Big Pack. Is that what it's called? Whoops. Yeah, Big Pack 1290. That's what I like. But it takes 245 horsepower. The one I'm using only needs 195. This tractor only has 190 horsepower to give, so I'm already overtaxing it a little bit. Got to pick up a few scraps and we'll be done with field 6. That's pretty cool. I got to turn a fan on. I'm burning up in here. Hopefully y'all can't hear my computer fans. They're spinning pretty good because game is hard to run. Surprisingly enough, it seems pretty simple. Does everybody think about the music so far? Is it a thumbs up, a thumbs down? Should I keep it going, or maybe not? Here's field 6 done. Again, this is the first time I've done music on a live stream, so I'm not sure exactly how it's turning out. Maybe it would help if I took my jacket off instead of turning on the fan. I'm sitting here sweating, sitting in my chair. It's because I got a jacket on. I'm silly sometimes. It's pretty much field 7 done as well. $56 bales. I'm not sure if that's necessarily accurate. Maybe it is. I feel like I just checked it a little while ago. It said 53. But I guess I have been cleaning up scraps, which gets you less straw. Maybe it's accurate. Smoking Chain says, next on the farm chores is another chicken coop and plant some oats for the grain mill and oat flour. Dang, you're doing grass and productions and animals and all that at the same time. Sounds like you got a lot going on. Alright, that is field 9 done, I think. Looks like it. It's pretty small, but not bad, not bad. Mosey on over to field 8. Looks like I started on this corner. Welcome in, everyone. We're just about an hour in. Done 8 fields, I think. Well, by that logic, it should take about 10 hours to bale everything, because there's a little over 80 fields in the map. Granted, most of them are bigger than the ones I've been doing right now, so... not most. Some of them are bigger. Some of them are the same size. I don't know why I signed up for this, but I'm going to follow through with it for sure. And I got stuck on a bale. I thought I was going to stand it straight up for a second. I guess realistically I shouldn't be doing the perimeter laps first. I should be doing them last, because they can put bales down in the way of the other ones. Oops. That's not that big of a deal. I just realized there's a lot I haven't done in Farming Simulator 25 yet. This is like my first time really bailing anything. It's also my first time live streaming on 25, so congrats on being here for that. I also haven't done any animals. That's like a pretty big part of farming is animals. I've barely done any production chains. Man, I need to get out more. I've just been making videos about crops. I've spent like 60 hours on my crop science playthrough where I try to figure out which one makes the most money. Spent 30 hours nearly on this one too. About 10 hours on a different playthrough and 20 hours on my personal, just general playthrough. I already have, I think, 6 or 7 maps rolling, but not all of them I play on. Of course, all these hours are rookie numbers compared to some people. I bet you there's people that already have 1,000 hours in the game. Just something relaxing about the in-cab view. I wish my standpipe wasn't directly in my view, though. It's kind of annoying. I mean, it makes sense the engine's right there, so the exhaust should be as well, but it's kind of annoying. I feel like they could have... I guess it's not a standpipe, is it? It's on my... It's the frame on my window. Oh, what's up with that, John Deere? Why you gotta put that right there? I thought that was the exhaust. Exhaust is on the side, yeah, so they did do it. Good. Okay. Thankfully, all the tractors I've driven in real life have excellent visibility on the front windshield. Not so much this one, though. This cab is also pretty small. You're not getting 2 people and a bunch of coolers and stuff in there easily, are you? Does it even have a buddy seat? No, it doesn't look like it. I haven't streamed in a while, so it always catches me off guard how much just talking to yourself makes things go by quicker. It's been almost an hour of streaming, and I feel like I've been sitting here for 10 minutes. I've been doing literally the same thing for an hour, just baling straw. But it goes by pretty quick. Hopefully it helps y'all with whatever you're going through as well. I know back when I was in school, I used to watch live streams while I was doing homework or just even playing another video game. Just for some extra noise, kind of helped me focus a little bit, which seems opposite, but it worked. I may at some point rent the bale mover just to break things up a little bit if I get tired of baling. Get the bale transporter and just pick these things up and put them in stacks around on the fields. That way it makes the selling of them pretty quick. Instead of having to go through and pick them all up and sell them, they're already all in stacks. I just drive up next to them and get them. Couple of scraps left. That's all we got. I thought about going through with a windrower and condensing all these swaths into a few bigger ones instead of a bunch of small ones. But I feel like unless you're using a really small harvester and a really big windrower, you're gonna lose time. You still have to go through twice. You go through with the windrower and then you go through with the baler instead of just going through with the baler twice as many times. Unless you gotta pay for another piece of equipment, so. I keep trying to turn it on before I've unfolded it. Make sure it didn't change size. Yeah, it's still 240. How's everybody doing? Saturday going well? Just in case you missed it, I did say earlier that whoever, if you guys put down your predictions for how many bales we're going to get on the entire map, the closest person gets a shout out on this video when it comes out. So far we've got a guess of 250 by myself. Someone else guessed 173.2 bales. Smoking Gun guessed 520 bales. Feel free to put your predictions down. We're about 9-10 fields in and we've got 73 bales. Again, there's around 80 to 90 fields on the map, so whether it's an educated guess or just a straight guess like I did, I guessed on like the second or third field, so completely blank. Smoking Coin says you thought about putting a second BGA in this field. It's a little tight. It's a good positioning though, especially if your other one is on the right side of the map. I don't know if you could... I mean, I assume you tried and saw that you could fit one in here, but I don't know if I could fit one in here very well. I guess I haven't looked at the different sizes of them. Have you run into issues where the BGA gets full of grass and you need another space? Or is it just ease of access so you don't have to drive all the way across the map to dump into the BGA in the right hand corner. Because I could see that. I almost put multiple silo sites around this map for when I was harvesting, because driving those semis all over the map a lot. I mean, I did... how many was it? About 25 trips of the semi from various different parts on the map, and that was one of the biggest slowdowns for harvest. Mainly for access, but a bit of both. Okay, I got you. I decided not to put down multiple silos because I didn't want it infringing on the field space. There's not really a ton of open spaces to put buildings down on this map without taking up fields. And of course, I want to farm every field on the map, so it didn't really work out that well. In the end, it wasn't terrible. I mean, harvest was like 13 hours of real play time, so a little rough to do that over the span of like 3 days, but I made it work. Can't believe we're already in the double digits of fields. I was thinking I'd be going slower than this. I guess it's better to overestimate the amount of time it's going to take than underestimate it. But we have officially hit 1 hour on the clock for the tractor, so obviously we can't bail if the tractor's turned off and it's been running for an hour, so I'm going to give myself a pat on the back for that one. 1 hour down, many more to go. This is the 10th field done. Gotta head across the train tracks to field 11. But I think I have to go through field 15 to get there, so we're gonna do that one out of order again. Oh, the train's coming. Good thing I saw that. I was looking at my second monitor. There she goes. Good looking tractor, ain't it? It'll take me a little picture. Now, thankfully, I haven't hit the train yet. The first time that happens, though, is going to be a wake-up call. There were several times when I was trucking, I got kind of stuck on the tracks a little bit. Thankfully, I got unclear. The train wasn't anywhere near, but I could see myself getting stuck in the train plowing through my semi. Especially if you didn't notice the train was coming, that'd probably startle you a little bit. I did also initially think about plowing fields together, just to see how much of a difference that would make. But again, it took so long to do... I'm not even done yet, but it took so long to harvest the entire map just one time. But I thought about like plowing these two fields together, because I kind of harvested them as one big field. You can see the straw swaths kind of run across that grass strip in the middle. Because I've always thought, you know, using a plow to make all your fields a little bit bigger is worth it because it makes you a lot of money, but I've never seen science to back that up, so I thought about doing a video on that. Because look at all this wasted green space on the side of this field here. I don't know, I feel like I might have to do that. Go back through this field, plow all the main fields that can be plowed together. I don't want to reach too hard, but expand every field a little bit and see how much more money you make. I feel like there's I feel like that could be interesting. That was like one of my first things I did on Farming Simulator 17 when I played it years ago. You started with like 3 or 4 smaller fields, and I tried to plow them to be as big as I could possibly make them. Oh, here's our first uphill, really, while baling. Down to 6 miles an hour is not terrible. I feel like if I used one of the bigger square balers, that may have taken me down to 4 miles an hour, or 3 even. If I wasn't doing like when I only bale like 1 field or 2 fields that I harvested instead of 80 like I'm doing right now, I set the cruise at like 6 or 7 miles an hour because that feels more realistic to me. I think realistically you'd go like 3 or 4 miles an hour depending on your tractor and your yields, but obviously that feels way too slow for me, so I set it a little slower. I do that on cultivation as well. Or planting, like some of the planters in the game can go 11 miles an hour. That's way too fast. So I feel like spraying at 20 miles an hour or seeding at 11 miles an hour is just too fast. Obviously it's a game, but sometimes it's nice to slow down and take it easy. Dang, we've only used 1 out of 32 square bale twines. How many bales can you do? I've already done 80 bales. You could do 2,000, around 2,500, is that right? That's dangerous doing mental math on stream. You break out a calculator and see. 32 times 80 is 2560. Dang, I'm good. So yeah, roughly around 2,500 bales before you need to refill your twine. That's almost useless. I doubt I'm going to make even half of that on baling the entire map. I mean, I like that they added that feature where you have to replace your twine, but it kind of runs out a little slow. I feel like by the time you need to replace your twine, you might as well just replace the baler because it'll have 30 to 50 hours on it, and by that point in Farming Simulator it's pretty much done. I don't even know if that's realistic. Can you do 2,500 bales on 1 pack of twine in a baler? That's a lot. My drink's gone. That's unfortunate. It's always a sad time. Oh, here's 4 miles an hour, 3. And we're just crawling along. Come on, Bessie. I hope we don't run out of daylight, but it won't be a super big deal if we do. I'll just kind of have to make a mental note on how many hours we spent today and then sleep through the night, and it'll be August next month. Then we'll bail again. I mean, it's already 3:10 in the afternoon. It's on half time speed, so if it takes us 10 hours to bail everything, that'd be 8 p.m. By that point. It's going to be like pitch dark outside. The nighttime cycle in this game is not great, and it's really, really dark at nighttime, so it's hard to see what you're doing. I usually hang up the hat around 6:30 p.m., maybe even earlier. So we may have only 5-6 hours left before we gotta sleep. It's in game, of course. I don't go to bed at 6:30 in real life. That'd be crazy. Be waking up at like 3 a.m. Sure, some people do though. What shift would that be? Starting it. I guess there's some gas station shifts that start at 3 or 4 a.m. I wonder what... My brain is weird. I've been talking about sleep, and I instantly just thought, I wonder what hour is the least common for a human to wake up. I felt the need to share that thought. I wonder what it would be. Because, like, I figure the most common is probably 7 a.m. or 8 or 6 a.m. Because almost every kid for school gets up sometime around 7 or 6. I guess 6 would be more likely if school starts around 8 or 9 p.m. Or a.m., sorry. Construction workers that start at 6 a.m. would wake up at 4 or 5. If they want to go to the gym before then, they might wake up at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. Yeah, I wonder... That'd be an interesting study. Trying to figure out which hour the least people wake up at. I would think it'd be sometime in the day, because statistically I would think less people work night shift. Or, yeah, than day shift. Plus, there's kids going to school. And it's kind of hardwired in your brain to wake up in the morning and go to sleep at night. So if you're doing the opposite, it's probably less common. So maybe people waking up at like 1 p.m. or even noon. That's probably super rare. Obviously, if you're counting naps, that would change, but I'm talking just sleep. I think it's about time I leave that conversation in the dust, though. It's crazy. I just become fixated on something and could literally chat with someone for 30 minutes on it. Getting close to 100 bales done in total. That's crazy. I'm starting to think my guess of 250 bales in total is going to be way off. Oh man, I just realized my music stopped. Let me get that going again. Bluegrass, baby. Now we're talking. Excuse me. I'm running a tire setup that I barely ever run. They're like the Nokia communal tires. I don't even know what they would typically be used for. They're different than like field tires. You can see the tread on them is different than... Well, I'll just show you in the shop, I guess. It'd be easier to show. These are field tires. Obviously, they got the big ridges, but if you go to... There. I wonder if they're like road tires or something. I don't know. I just think they look cool, so I use them sometimes. Just about got this field done. We can move on. Knocking these out faster than I thought I would. I feel like I would definitely rather have like 3 or 4 gigantic fields than a ton of smaller fields. Because even the biggest fields I've done so far only took me like 15 minutes to do baling, maybe even less. So much more satisfying to spend like an hour and a half baling a field and then going to the next field. I feel like I like the 4X maps. That's why I like them. They're literally 4 times the size of these maps, so everything's bigger. Except your equipment, of course, so you gotta spend more time. I feel like it's a good balance. I like this song. It's like the first or second time I've heard most of these songs all the way through. I just picked them out this morning. Can't say I've ever truly bopped my head while farming, but now I am. Check that off the bucket list. Two tiny little swaths. We'll be hopping across the road. Oh, now I missed half that swath. That's not good. Oh, man. Field 12. Here we go. This area is a little more hilly. Slows me down. If you guys are curious to see the results of all of this baling and everything, feel free to check my YouTube channel. A couple of days, hopefully, this video will be coming out. If I can't get it all wrapped up, then I'll probably have something else coming out in a few days, but hopefully this one can be wrapped up. I still gotta pick up all these bales and sell them, and then sell all the wheat. I've got over 2 million liters of wheat. Then once all that's sold, which will take a few hours in itself, I'm sure, then I need to go through and talk about the results, because I've been keeping track of how much money we've spent this entire time. All the equipment and tractors I've been using have been leased. They've been rented. So, of course, at the end of the year, I can just return them. I feel like that's more realistic. Renting equipment for 1 year than buying equipment and then reselling it. And I'm undecided if I want to do, because it's only 3 episodes, I'm undecided if I want to put them all into one video, kind of like a supercut type thing, or if I want to just call it at the 3 videos. But I don't have to decide that for a little while. I'm a little bit mixed with doing something like that, because of course, some people watched all 3 episodes separately, and if they get another video that's just all 3 of them put together, they're probably not going to watch it. But if somebody only saw 1 video or never saw any of them, then making another video on it can potentially draw them in and they'll see it. So, as with most things in life, there are benefits and drawbacks. I'll probably just make a decision on the spur of the moment and stick with it. That's what I typically tend to do. Oh man, 99 bales. I'll be able to see it run over 100. That'll be cool. To be fair, I did think it was going to happen a lot sooner. I didn't think we'd be stuck on 99 this long. I'm not sure when it updates the counter. Is it when it drops on the ground? Yeah, it looks like it. 100 bales in total, guys. We did it. That is 7 round trips with my bale loader to sell it already, and I've only done 12 fields, so we've got a long ways to go. I'm going to be doing a lot of carting when it comes time. Thankfully, I do have the free time now, though. Last few weeks have been pretty busy, but now I've got some spare time, so the idea is to make more content, but see how well I can actually do that. Numbers on the channel the last couple of months have been absolutely crazy. I don't know if any of y'all have seen any of those videos, but if you have, I appreciate the support. It's been kind of a whirlwind these last couple of months. If you haven't seen any of the videos, feel free to check them out. Obviously, they were liked by some people. There's at least a few thousand people that liked them. Not literally pressed the like button, but they watched them. I hope they liked it. Dang, my knee hurts. I'm not even sitting in the cab. I'm in the chair. Ouch. I did go for a run yesterday and it was only like 35 degrees, so that's probably what's causing it. Also the fact that I haven't run in months and just went for a run. That's likely to cause a little soreness too. Was my water bottle, for anyone wondering. Staying hydrated is important. In case you weren't aware, it's kind of a basic necessity for life. Hey, we've knocked down an hour and a half. Not bad. It helps to point out the minor, what are they called? Achievements you get, because that makes things go by quicker, so that's why I'm calling every little thing out. Yeah, the 4 miles an hour up the hill will eventually get old. Thankfully, I don't have to do that a ton. But every time I slow down like that, it's going to make me wish I bought a bigger tractor. Or I suppose rented a bigger tractor. I didn't buy anything. Most of these fields were harvested by workers. They can't be baled by workers, but that makes it easier for me to bale. The few that I harvested myself will be not quite as tidy, probably. Although I have already baled a few of them and they weren't terrible. I wish there was a way to get workers to bale, because that would make this literally 3 times as fast. I could just hire 2 or 3 workers on a baler, and then whenever they finish their field, I just drive them to the next one and hire them up. I think there's ways you can do it with, there's several different mods. I don't know if they're out yet for Farming Simulator 22 or 25, but I wanted to see what it would be like to do it all by my hand. Again, it's never been done, to my knowledge. No regrets yet, but maybe by field 50 or 60 I might be wishing I had some help. Speaking of help, I'm considering making a multiplayer server to play with you guys on Farming Simulator. Haven't set anything up yet, but that might be coming, so if you're interested in that, stay tuned, I guess. My AirPod died. Gonna need to switch them out. I think that's worked. Yeah, there we go. My setup is a little bit janky. I've got, I don't have 2 monitors, so I'm using my phone as my second monitor. So I have one AirPod connected to my computer, and the other AirPod connected to my phone so I can hear the stream and make sure everything's working. It can be a little disorienting sometimes. I've got different sounds coming in both ears from different things. And it's always weird to talk and then hear yourself talking what you just said every few seconds later. That took some getting used to. Thankfully, this isn't my first stream, so it's a little more natural. It can be so distracting, though, when you're trying to say something and you have a thought in your head, and you're just in your ear, you're repeating yourself, like 5 seconds delayed. The first few times I tried to record doing that, it messed me up. It's good times, though. Good memories. There is field 13, now on to field 14. 108 bales. Y'all are liking what you're seeing, or you're having a good time, I appreciate you hitting the like button so other people can find the stream and tune in. The more people I have watching, the more people can chat and make things a little more interesting for everyone involved. I'm pretty good at talking to myself, but after a few hours it might get a little dull. I wonder what number roughly the bigger fields start happening. Around the 20s? Okay, good to know. So we're getting close to getting into some bigger fields that'll take a long time. I think field 19 is the first pretty good sized field we're going to hit. Oh dang, I'm gonna need fuel before this is done. My tractor's already about a quarter gone. We're definitely not a quarter of the way through the fields yet. Oh, 3 miles an hour feels so slow. Okay, we already did field 15 because that was with field 11. Now we can move on towards field 16. Wonder if there's a cut through over here. Not really. That's fine. That's what roads are for. You can easily drive on them from field to field. Even as young as 8 years old in some states. You can drive your agricultural equipment from field to field. Could not imagine an 8-year-old driving a tractor on the highway, but I'm sure it happens sometimes. All right, let's get a visual on what we've done so far. We started here, done all of these fields. We've kind of done this little alcove almost. We've got plenty more to go. Plenty more. Not sure really how to turn around here. This field is kind of an odd shape. I think I started on the wrong, angle. This should be a little better though. Yeah, I'm gonna back up and hit that. That's a lot to miss. Couldn't quite turn sharp enough. I wonder where field 17 is. Oh, 17 and 18 are non-fields. They're just empty spaces. Dang, so the next field we hit will be a big one. Excellent. Not that big, but it's big enough. I believe field 24 is the biggest on the map, so we're getting close. Dang, autosave made me miss my turn. It's always funny when I accidentally punch my desk in it. A few seconds later, it pops up in my ear. I kind of hold my breath and wait to see if it registered on the microphone, but it usually does. Playing on a controller, so the controller's under the desk, so sometimes I reach up to scratch my face or grab a drink or whatever, and it punch my desk sometimes. had a viewer mention on the first video. The first video is where I cultivated all these fields. He told me I should have just done direct drill planters instead of cultivating it because I technically didn't have to. I didn't even think about that. And I did end up using direct drill planters, so I didn't even need to cultivate. But it was still satisfying. It was fun. That was kind of like when this idea was still new. At this point, I've been doing this map for 25, 26 hours, so it's no longer new, but yeah, it was fun. And that video did pretty well, so no regrets. It was just funny when I read that comment, my heart kind of sank a little bit. I was like, dang it. I didn't think about that. Oh, is that this field done? Except for the occasional specks. Alright, moving on. No cop, no stop. Only in video games, of course. And I believe I did fields 19 and 20 as one field all the way through. I could be wrong, though. Nope, I'm right. But that's again. Funny, it's always so much louder in the video than I feel like it will be, or on the live stream. Oh, that's a good view. Look at all them fields I gotta bail up. Tons of them, as far as the eye could see out that way. Definitely got my work cut out for me. Rectangular fields are nice. Long, straight rows. It's chilling. Oh, there's another piece I missed. Little guy. I'm sure there's a few specks I missed from planting, and definitely a few from harvest. I'm missing a few specks from baling too, but those are just going to be a calculated loss. So, if you want to be completely, foolproof, you might gain a few extra $100 worth of crops in the end, but I feel like we're going to make at least $1 million bucks, so even $1,000 missed here and there is not that big of a deal in that scale. Crazy how far you can see the straw. I'm not sure if it's showing up on stream, but those farthest fields all the way by the tree line in the very back, I can see the straw on them. I guarantee you could not do that in Farming Simulator 22. You couldn't see it, it just wouldn't be there. Kind of backhanded compliment type thing. It's nice to be able to see a lot, but it's also painful because I can easily see how much work I have to do in front of me. There's tons of it. The topography of these maps is, I feel like, much better than Farming Simulator 22 base game maps. You can see tons of hills all around. The fields are on hills. Yeah, I feel like that's a lot better than the regular maps from Farming Simulator 22. I could be wrong, but it just seems like it from what I've been doing. And we're close to 2 hours in on this stream. It really doesn't feel like it's been that long. Bigger fields really have me excited for the 4X and 16X maps coming out. I love the giant fields you can just spend hours in. Not the best for making videos, admittedly, but they're a lot of fun. think after these 2 fields are done, I'm gonna get the bale transporter and get some good stacks going. I want a change of pace. I don't think I'm tired of baling yet, thankfully, but it'd be good to get a change of pace before I do get there. I'm more so annoyed I just can't seem to get the entire swath in one go. Extremely difficult to line it up right. Definitely was not the case in FS22. Almost have to do this entire field twice over to make sure I get everything. Should get a bumper for the tractor so I can push the bales out the way. I mean, I'm doing it just fine, but sometimes my tires mount them and I get airborne a little bit. That ground deformation doesn't look too bad. I'd say that's probably the best change from FS22 to 25. Some of the changes haven't been all that great. Some of them, they didn't change anything. They're still got the same problems it had in 22, but that's one change that's been pretty good. Everything could be better. Ground deformation is no different, but I think it's pretty decent. I wonder how much of a performance impact it has, because it used to be your tire tracks got deleted after, you know, a few minutes maybe, but now I could go back to the first field we did on this map. I will, matter of fact. We started in field 2. Yeah, you can still see my tire tracks here. It's been 2 hours. 2 hours officially on the reading on our tractor in the bottom right. And those tire tracks are still there. I wonder if after maybe 5 hours, is it going to start to get more taxing on the computer? I doubt it's that big of a deal, but who knows? Just a couple more scraps. I think there's one more pretty big area over here, and then we'll get going to the next one. Excuse me. Who knew water makes you gassy? I'm just playing. All right, next field. After this little scrap. Man, it's just so annoying. You can't get the whole swath. That hurts. That's definitely going to make it a lot less satisfying to do baling in this game. That's rough. Somebody needs to make a mod that makes these regular game pickups a little bit wider, because that's just... It's not unplayable, but it's annoying. Whoops, I'm missing more than I should be. Those trees are brutal. You can't see anything in there. Nothing like bailing a swath and then turning around and bailing it again because it can't pick it all up. It's little things like this that can get on your nerves. Whoa. Especially when you've played like 3 or 4 hours of this game, and you just, it's little thing after little thing, and yeah. I don't want to hate on the game because it's still new, but it can get a little annoying sometimes. Yeah, I really need to get a bumper to push these guys out the way. I guess the front left tire works just fine. Until it doesn't. At some point, I'm just going to have to stop going back for the second pass, because if it's going to be doing this on every single field, it hasn't really been a big problem until now. I'm not sure what's changed. Maybe it's like the slope of the field or something, but for whatever reason, this field has been tough to get both sides in. I feel like it shouldn't be this difficult to bale some straw. It should be pretty straightforward and simple. But alas, I am proven wrong. Here we go, I kind of got it lined up pretty decent. Not too late to put your predictions in, guys, for how many bales you think we'll get. Winner gets a shout out. Unless they don't want it, I guess. They can opt out. I'm also interested to see if there is a limit and how many bales we'll get. I think there has been on console before. I could be wrong, I could be misremembering. I know there was a limit for pallets in FS25, and that was a pretty big deal. Somebody put out a mod where you could have bigger sized pallets, somebody put out a mod where you could have more, but it was a script, so it was only for computer. I think Giant Software went back through and changed the number you could have, though. It was... If you had like 3 or 4 factories going full bore for 6-7 months, you'd run out of space, and that's... They have more than 3 or 4 factories on the map, so it's unreasonable to limit people to such a small amount. Of course, the only way to find that out is to try it out. That's why I'm here. That's why I suspect a lot of people have been watching those videos, is because no one else has really done this before. This baler's got to be really old. I wonder if this company's made a new generation of it or not. I think this was a DLC baler in FS17, which was 8 years ago. It's getting old. It's entirely possible they have made an updated version. Giants just hasn't put it in, or maybe this is the updated version. It just looks like the old one. I know Vermeer has done the same thing with their round baler. Let's see if that's even in the game. That was my favorite baler from FS22. No, it's gone. Dang. Self-propelled round baler is here, but not the regular one. But they've had they actually pioneered the original design for the round baler. I think it was 1972. Gary Vermeer came out with the initial design for the modern day round baler. And to this day, 53 years later, it looks very, very similar. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's the definition right there. It could be just be what this company's doing. Who knows? If you guys have any suggestions for which tractor to get for picking up these bales, drop them down below because I'm going to be renting something here in the next minute or two. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Nothing gigantic, please. I just want a medium or a small, large tractor. Something bigger than this because it's going to be a lot of weight on that bale loader. Okay, I think that's the field. Well, let's bring it to the next one, I guess. Heading on down to field 21. When I get there, I'm warning you guys, I'm renting a tractor. If you want to have any say, you just type in that little keyboard which tractor you want to see. All right. No recommendations, so I'm going to pick a tractor. What do we got? These are probably a little big. Let's do a medium tractor. We're gonna do wheel weights, no front loader. Heck yeah. 13 grand, holy crap. All right, we need a bale loader. Here's my semis. Favorite semi. I'm really glad they added this to the game. He's international. And there's like 5 different paint jobs you can get for him. It's super cool. It's going to tell me how much straw I've got. 1.35 million liters already. That's a lot of straw, in case you weren't aware. Oh man, I turned the wrong way. What am I doing? I hope someone adds that Vermeer round baler to the game, because that is legit my favorite baler from FS22. This thing's pretty quick, 39 miles an hour. Dang. Back at the beginning, the first field we started on today, over 2 hours ago. Now we're picking up these bales. Since it's not time to sell, I'm just gonna stack the bales in the corner of the field. I'm probably gonna get pretty good at manipulating these bales to make them line up right for the grabber by the time this is done. I could not imagine manually collecting all these bales. That would be crazy. Manually, as in not, lifting them with my arms, but what's it called? Telehandler, one of those things or even a tractor with a front fork on it. I did a video probably 2 years ago now where I manually collected 300 bales. And that was crazy. That was before I had a microphone, I think. Good times. That was quick. Field's already done. Oh, it wasn't ready to pick it up. I just pushed it out of the way. What? I missed one. Oh, it's full. That's what happened. I got so confused. Alright, so here's the first drop off. Now I gotta wait for the table to go back down. Would have been nice to bale every single field before I did this. Started picking them up, that is, but I don't have the patience for that. I need to change things up every once in a while. Oh, it's the perfect amount of these fields to fill it up again. So we can have 2 stacks right next to each other. That'll be nice. I mean, they don't have to be right next to each other, but they're close enough. On to the next. Probably going to be a few full loads here, I would think. On these few fields. I missed a fair bit of straw here. Whoops. Not my fault, it's the baler's fault, but still. Usually try to go back for that. I'm not going to be able to do that the whole time though, so I should probably just stop now. If it misses a little strip from every single row I take, then I'm not going back for it all. These bales are kind of flying around. For reference, each one weighs 430 kilograms, so I think that's around 1,000 pounds, if I'm not mistaken. You would definitely feel that if you hit it with your tire like that. It just flings it in the game, though. I'm not sure exactly how much abuse these tractors' bearings could take on the wheels, but I feel like 1,000 pounds at a good 10 miles an hour might cause some damage. Although I reckon it wouldn't be that much different than hitting a big pothole or a little sinkhole in your field or a rock or something. One of the weird things with this autoloader is in Farming Simulator 17 it had 16. You could get 16 bales on it. But then in 22 you could only get 14, and it's the same in 25, you can only get 14 on it. Not sure exactly why that is, but you'd think it would get better as it gets newer, but it goes backwards with this thing. Best version of this was from 2017. That's opposite for the round bale, because the round bale collector in FS17 can only get 8 bales, and now it can get 24. Which is obviously a lot more. It's 3 times as much. Plus, because of the way the balers are designed, you can actually fit more straw in a round bale than you can in a square bale. So, if you wanted the biggest bales possible, then you would do round bales. But it doesn't really matter to me. Again, speed is more important than almost anything else in this miniseries. Speaking of speed, I thought about speedrunning like $1 million in the game. Not sure how well that would come across as a video or not, but I feel like it could be an interesting idea. Of course, you'd have to have some limitations. You couldn't just speedrun it with any mods, because I could literally just press F11 and add money into my account. Add, remove money, just add $1 million. It'd take me like 10 seconds to speedrun $1 million. There'd have to be some stipulations of some sort, but I don't know. Just what's the word? Spitballing? Brainstorming. That's the one I was first trying to say, but I was thinking of spitballing. Thankfully, I stopped myself because you guys probably wouldn't understand if I said brainballing. I kind of mix the two phrases together. On that note, we finished those fields, so we're moving on. A nice sunroof on your tractor. Wow, look at there. Oh, I think my music ended again. Gotta get that going. Fortunately, my playlist is only like an hour and a half, so it's gonna repeat, but I don't think it's super obvious. It'll grow with time. I can add to it later on. I just wanted to get something going now. Back to the bluegrass vibe. Now, I suppose the problem with doing things this way is I'm not going to know exactly which fields have a stack of bales on them. I guess I could keep track of which ones I drop a stack on. That sounds weird. Which one I drop a stack of bales on. Otherwise, I'll just have to drive around every field to make sure I've got them all. I don't want to miss any. Although I guess my time-saving stock check mod, it's not mine, it's the one I downloaded. This will tell me if I have extra bales on the field. So if I think I'm done and it still says there's some bales out there, I know I need to go back through and double check. Yeah, I'd say this is probably my favorite song from the playlist. It's the second time I've heard it today, but it's not bad. Still hits. Whoops. Oh man, I pushed it out of the way. This definitely goes a fair bit faster than baling. Nice change of pace. It's kind of neat seeing the tire tracks stick around for so long. If I like leave the map and come back in, they delete and reset, but it's still cool. If you played long enough, you could see multiple years of tire tracks on one field at once. Alright, I'm going to come up here because I think up here is a little more flat for these bales. I'm going to stack them sideways relative to the slope so they have a better chance of not falling over. Oh, nice. Look at that. They didn't fall. Whoops. That's a good thing there's no traffic on in this map, because I feel like they'd get a kick out of watching me do this. I'm not the most graceful with it. Oh, also, I totally forgot about keeping track of which fields had bales in them, so I guess we're just gonna hope I can find them when I drive by. That's one of the reasons for me doing things in chronological order. Not chronological, but numerical. So I don't forget a field, because you can't look at the map and see which ones need baled still. They're all purple because they've been harvested, so... If I didn't do them in numerical order, I might forget a field, and that wouldn't be good. Hopefully these don't tip. It's kind of a slope in two different directions, so we'll see. Woohoo, they wanted to, but they're still upright. Excellent. On to the next field. We're knocking them down. Is that everything for this field? Dang. That was quick. Moving on. This field has the exact amount to fill this thing up. I suppose I'll just unload it at field 16 then. It's crazy, we've almost caught up with the baler at this point. Again, I stress the fact that it would be really nice if workers could bale, because the baler could have been going this entire time while I'm doing this pickup stuff. Shoot, this field's slope is almost worse than the last one. I was hoping it'd have a better slope. I don't know if it's just me, but I think cinematic shots where the camera's like almost on the ground looks so good. It's just like the best way to take pictures, I feel like, in this game. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it could just be that I'm weird. I mean, that could be a factor in just about everything. We've all got little quirks. Make us unique. My quirk is that I enjoy playing a farming game and put hundreds of hours into it. Doesn't sound all that exciting until you play it, though. It's strangely addicting. I have not met another person that enjoys this game as much as I do. Of course, there's people online that play it way more than I do, but yeah. That's one of the good things about, you know, the internet. It connects people. If you have a strange, like, hobby or skill set or set of passions, it's likely you won't ever meet another person that kind of shares those passions with you. Which is sad, but the internet kind of bridges those gaps, so you can find 15, 20 other people online that have the same exact, maybe not the same exact, but they have the same ideas and drive and motivation and passion for certain topics. There are tons of, like, you can just look on the Steam reviews. There's people that have played this game for 20,000 hours. Not this one, but Farming Simulator. Oops, I thought I had cruise control on. Farming Simulator 22. I was recently looking through the reviews. There are people with 30,000 hours. That's a lot. That's, what is that, 1,000 days? 3 years? That can't be right. I feel like my mental maths are wrong now. Let me check. 30,000 hours divided by 24. That's over 1,000 days. Yeah. Yeah, 3.5 years. Maybe not 30,000, right? I don't know. I know I've seen people with over 15,000, so that's still like a year and a half. I'm talking like 500 days of playing the game. That's crazy. That's days and nights, by the way. So there's definitely people out there that play this game a ton, but again, I've never met someone. That's one of the cool things about the internet. None of my friends necessarily enjoy Farming Simulator. Like, I know a few people, but it's cool on the internet because there's I mean, my channel has almost 200,000 total views, which is amazing. That means there's a bunch of crazy people out there that like watching me farm. I think we filled up again, so let's dump this off. Maybe the reason I like these cinematic shots from the bottom is because they made the ground look pretty good in this game. Obviously from the top down it looks kind of horrid. You can't even see the crops very well, but that's the problem with using two-dimensional textures. I spoke about that in one of my recent videos. It's one of my issues with the game. I wish they would do three-dimensional modeling instead of two-dimensional textures, but that's so much harder to code and to run for a computer, so I understand why they don't. And it's not necessary. I mean, this is a simple game about farming. It doesn't have to look like a, you know, a giant billion-dollar company made it. Giant Software may be a billion-dollar company, I don't know, but I doubt they spent $1 billion on developing this game. Dude, it's crazy how loud the desk punches sound in my ears. I couldn't even hear it when I did it, but it was like a thunderous gunshot almost in my headphones through the microphone. I need to get like a little counter to count how many times I punch my desk, because it's a lot. This is the last field until we're caught up with the baler. It's crazy. This tractor's only been used for half an hour. Really appreciate y'all sticking with me, because I'm not gonna lie, baling the entire map is gonna be incredibly mundane and boring for me to do by myself, so y'all are holding me accountable to get it done quick. Thanks for that. Come on, let's unload. I pressed the button. What do y'all think about the matte green paint job on this tractor? It's kind of hard to tell. I feel like it was more easily recognizable in FS22. We have officially caught up to the baler. I think we've also been going for 3 hours, which is mad. Feels good to be back in the baler again. Well, not in it, but in the tractor driving it. Welcome in, everyone. We just got back to baling, and we've done all these fields kind of in this sector. Fields 1 through 20. Just got all the bales collected, and we are currently sitting at 150 bales. Less than a quarter of the way done with the map. In terms of field numbers, I'm not sure how many acres we have left. Because obviously not all the fields are the same size. If you're feeling brave, you can leave a prediction down below how many bales you think we'll get for the whole map. And the closest answer gets a shout out in the video. So far we've got 3 guesses, so you've got a pretty good chance of, I don't know, pretty good chance of winning. Especially since my answer is already almost passed. I said 250, we're already at 150. Smoke a Chain says 520 is looking good. Yeah, you're probably getting pretty on par with that. Only time will tell, though. We do have quite a few big fields left to do, so we'll see. See if that number changes. Man, 4 miles an hour feels really slow after picking up all those bales at like 20 mile an hour. Probably going to call it quits after we get to field 25. That's a quarter of 100 at least. Going strong for 3 hours, so definitely don't want to fatigue myself playing Farming Simulator. That'd be sad. Yeah, 25 is a good stopping point because it's kind of set off by this road and it signifies me finishing that top left corner. Plus it may be around a third of the way done. It's definitely more than a quarter. I think the sun's getting a little lower compared to where it was when we started, maybe. Maybe it's just because the trees are blocking it. I could just be completely wrong. We're not too far off from having to sleep through the night, though. Give it another 2, 3, 4 hours. Yeah, we're not even rocking 60 frames per second. We're not even locked on it. Hopefully I don't have to knock my graphics down a setting. Another one, because I already did that once. Dang it, I just missed a bunch. I guess it wouldn't cost anything extra at all to just use that tractor to bale. I didn't even think about that. I already rented them both. I guess the bigger tractor is a lot more expensive. I think this tractor is like 3,000 bucks to rent, and that one was 13,000. So we'll stick with this one for now. That was field 21. Let's go to field 22. Don't forget that's field 22 out of 91. So yeah, that's really puts it into perspective how much I'm doing. Not all in one sitting, of course. I kind of didn't account for how long it would take to pick up the bales. I think it's safe to say the average person won't be farming the entire map. For good reason, because it takes a while. It's not a bad goal, though. It's really not a bad goal. I've had that goal before on other playthroughs I've done. To try and buy every single field on the map. It would be cool, but I usually don't follow through with it, because this is, after all, meant to be fun, and once it starts to become a grind or a challenge, it loses a little bit of that fun aspect, especially if you have a job, you know. You just want to relax and play your game to enjoy it, not exactly to beat a big goal. I feel like there's other games that are better for long-term grinding goals like that. Like Minecraft is a good example. In this game, if you put in 60 hours, you can see the progress you've done pretty well. You'll have nicer tractors, you'll have more land, maybe more money in the bank account. But in terms of like physical change of the world, it's not as impactful. Whereas in something like Minecraft, almost everything you do changes the world. If you build a house, if you mine dirt, or if you know, if you make a barn and put animals in it, whatever you're doing, it's making a physical impact on the world that you can literally walk through and see. So a game like Minecraft is much better for grinding for long-term goals, in my opinion, because you can reap your rewards better. Now, I have had the idea of kind of making a museum of some sort with every single tractor that I've bought, instead of like, because normally when you play the game, when you buy a new tractor, you sell your old one to like upgrade it. But I've thought about just keeping the old one and putting it in a museum type thing, like in a shed, and just having all of your machines across, you know, a really big playthrough. I feel like that would be pretty cool. You could be able to just go back and walk through and see the expansion the farm has gone through. Kind of like where you started with what machinery you had, and then where you are now is obviously what you're using on the fields. I feel like that'd be pretty neat. That's 2.5 hours on the tractor. Not a huge accomplishment, but again, it's good to celebrate the small ones. Here I go, missing more straw. I can't be trusted with this, guys. Just trying to open a drink. Hopefully it's not too loud in cab, just let me know if it is. Probably also depends on what your audio is, if it's picking up more bass or treble or whatever. I remember I watched one of my videos on a TV one time. I don't remember what TV it was, but on my computer the audio sounded normal. But on this TV, when I was talking, it was like a little quiet, so I turned it up. But then when the music started playing, it was so loud. It scared me. So I had to go back through and watch the video to make sure it wasn't like messed up, but it sounded normal to me, so I don't know if some systems just have weird audio tuning that makes some things sound louder than others or what, but I hope that's not the case, that some people, you know, the sound isn't mixed very well. Tractor's about half gone on fuel, dang. I feel like they definitely need to fix the scaling of tractor maintenance and fuel, because this has 2.5 hours on it and it's already half out of fuel. I don't think that's right. I don't know how long the fuel lasts on this tractor in real life, but it seems a little fast to only run a tractor for 5 hours and it's out of fuel. Couldn't even use it all day. From my experience, I know the combine we would usually refill every day, every morning. Tractors were fine to go a few days without getting refilled, during harvest at least. It might be different during planting or whatever. But I don't know how low the combine got. Even if you fill it up one day and it gets a little bit below halfway, you'll fill it up in the morning, because you don't want it running out. Obviously, if it used a little bit more than half in one day, then the next day it'll use a little bit more than half again and you'll run out. Plus, it's a good way to start the day, you know, do a little routine inspection of the tractor, the combine, whatever, as you're filling it up. And that way the engine's cold when the fuel's going in. And if you've got farmhands, hired help coming in, you know, you can be the one to fill it up in the morning. Get there a little early so you don't have to pay them to sit around while you fill up their tractor. We might hit 200 bales before we're done with field 25. Right, there's that field. Let's go to the next. It's right next door. Look at that. Who could have guessed that? Get a little bit of a smaller field out of the way before we hit the biggest on the map right there. That'll be nice. I think it's also funny how fast these tractors get dirty. Like, how is there mud caked on the side of my baler after only using it for 2.5 hours? The wheels have, like, it's dry. It's July, it's sunny. There's no water on the ground. I've got mud and dust and grime caked all over my tractor and baler. And they were literally brand new 2.5 hours ago. Maybe a little fast for them to be getting this dirty, just saying. Yeah, based on how long this has taken, I don't think I'm going to be coming out with this video next. I'll probably have to do something else for a few hours. And this will come out after that. That's the problem with videos that take such a long time. I don't want to just sit here and work on them for a whole week without putting anything out. Instead, I'd rather just make a couple smaller videos and then work on this one on the side. Which is what I've been doing. Oh man, I didn't realize what time it is. I'm not going to be able to get to field 25. It's almost 4:30, which is when I was supposed to be wrapping up by, so I'll get this field done and then we'll call it there. Could you imagine if I just recorded all this and made it as a time lapse in a video? Usually, how does it work? For every hour I record, it'd be about 5 to 10 minutes of a time lapse. So if it's been 3 hours, we would already be at 15 to 30 minutes of time lapse. Could you imagine watching like an hour and a half long time lapse of just somebody bailing? That probably wouldn't be the most entertaining. Yeah, there's some situations where live stream is just the only way to make something watchable, really. And even then, a lot of people don't like tuning into live streams, so... That's why on pretty big harvests, I usually don't drop straw. I'll chop it up and fling it out. It's hard to make it entertaining. Same thing with like spraying. I feel like if you make a video or a time lapse about spraying your crops, people aren't going to watch it. It's just not as exciting or satisfying or anything like that. Thankfully, it doesn't take a super long time, so you can kind of just mention, hey, I sprayed the crops, and that's all. I could be wrong about that. That's just my kind of thoughts on it. Alright, well, as promised, there's the field done. Unfortunately, we couldn't get to field 25 this time. Not too bad for about 3.5 hours to get through field 23 again. We started here, got all these done, so yeah. I would say we're around a quarter of the way done. Maybe more, maybe less. I think that's fair. Yeah, a quarter of the way done. It has been going pretty well. Our grand total for bales so far, once this one decides to get off, grand total is 186 so far. I doubt I'm going to live stream this again, but I might. Who knows? I think this one went pretty well. I appreciate y'all hanging around, chatting, or putting up with me chat with myself for a long time. Big parts of it. Just gonna get this tractor in position for the next bit. If any of y'all watching this VOD after it was live want to make a guess on bales, go ahead. I probably won't be done baling all of this for a few days, so until the video comes out, you can put down your guesses, and again, the winner gets a shout out, which isn't a great prize, but hey, it's something. There's another little bit I missed. Alright, let's shut this off. Yeah, so stay tuned for some videos coming out. There will be probably episode 2 on Calmston Farm. And, of course, this video will be coming out soon. If you got any suggestions or anything, please feel free to let me know. All your guys' support and feedback is greatly appreciated. That's all for me for now, guys. I'll see you next time. Peace.